Hello.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, sorry, good afternoon.
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm doing good. How are you? What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good too. Thanks.
All
So
right.
should we begin?
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Okay. All right.
Ma'am, I have a question that
Yes.
do I require some notes to prepare?
No, you can keep a pen and a paper handy so that
Okay,
because I'll be giving you the feedback after the speaking activity only, and at
okay,
that point in time only I will explain you
all right.
things. So if you want, you can make a note of it.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So let me assign you the topic for today.
Okay.
Okay. So, describe a time when you used your smartphone to do something important. You should say when it was, why it was important, what you did, and explain how you felt about the experience.
What, why, and how I felt.
Yeah,
Okay. So basically, it's related to smartphone, right?
right. So you can first of all you can talk about smartphone, and after that you can
Hmm.
include these points.
Okay.
So it's a free speech. I'm not giving you a time limit that you have to speak for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Whatever thoughts come to your mind, you can.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me begin then. So, I'm gonna talk about the smartphones. And before starting start before start talking about the smartphone, I will take you a little bit in background. And background is that roughly in 1990s, we can see that there was some revolution took place about the phones, where where first phones were came into the picture through Reliance. Reliance come up with the phones in the market, where they have started supplying the phones to all users, and that was dream felt by the Dhirubhai Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani had a dream that I want to see every Indian should have a mobile in their hand. With that dream, revolution of mobile phones had taken place. In that, initially they have started giving a mobile phone which had very low cost, and with that low cost, only you have to go through the recharge and all. So at that time, I can feel that, I can see that at that time, every members, all the people have started taking the mobiles in their hand, all the people have started buying the mobiles, and they have started using the mobiles. They before that, certain devices like pager was also in place. During that time, initially, mobile phones were mostly being used by the young generation that I can recall, and most time the young generation were using this mobile for the purpose of communication and all. And young people were quite excited because at that time they also came up with certain other schemes like night calling. And in that period, night calling was roughly being given to the users at free of cost. So only you have to do certain specific recharges for that. So over the period of time, when Indian people got acquainted using of mobiles, slowly new other mobile industries, other telecommunication industry came into the picture, like Telenor, Uninor, Vodafone, and all, because there we had a huge potential for the Indian people to get into this. So at that time, I can recall that that time 2G was only available. From 2G to right now, we are approaching towards the 5G. But if I talk about the external scenario, other countries are started using 7G or 6G. So slowly we switched over to conventional mobiles to the conventional mobile to the smartphones. The smartphones have a greater features comparing this conventional phones. You can do your you can be a more techno savvy in case of smartphone. You can see a lot of applications are available nowadays with the smartphone. Lot of other features are available. You can do a lot of editing with the mobile phone. You can, what there are a lot of things which we really need to do offline, but nowadays with the presence of smartphone you can do in real time. I feel that because of the smartphone only, the existence of cyber cafe has been reduced, because earlier people had to go to the cyber cafe for the certain matters, like checking of emails, or might be students were going to the cyber cafe for the preparation of presentation and all. But smartphone has really made their life quite comfortable comparing to the previous time. In smartphone, if I talk about myself, then however I'm using a smartphone, but I keep this limited to the official purpose only, not that much involved in other things. Like, I have seen that a lot of people are using smartphone, and they are also wasting their time. So it is very important with the technology upgradation. We also need to be focused on the areas of the drawback. What are the certain, I mean, do and don'ts. So what there are certain don'ts, or there are certain uh, drawbacks of the using the smartphones, because I can realize that nowadays there are smaller kids, they are hardly at the age of 3 years and 5 years and all. They are their mothers and fathers, just give them mobile just to make sure that they are engaged in mobile. And because of that, they are not that much handy in doing the things by their own. They are not using their mind. They are not, uh, they are not that much comfortable if they don't have a mobile in their hand. So this is the negative side of the smartphone. And for me, a smartphone, again, for me, it's also important device, because nowadays, uh, an educated person and professional, a businessman, and a woman who is working from home sometimes, they also need a smartphone for the purpose of a real-time communication. And you can see that you can realize the same thing through the application like WhatsApp. Nowadays, the real-time information is getting flooded across the country. If anything happens in Ahmedabad, if anything happens in Delhi, Gurgaon, somewhere, at any city, now it is getting spreaded all over, across the city, across the state, across the country, and sometimes it goes outside as well. So there are a lot of features available with the smartphone, which are really helpful for the people, for the society, for the purpose of development. And in totality, I would say that it is really helpful. And now we are proceeding towards the 5G. So this is going to help us a lot, because there are a lot of things which really need very high bandwidth in terms of speed. So if you have available bandwidth, high speed connectivity, then it helps us to improve upon our productivity as well. Because a lot of things are there, we are spending a lot of time to make certain things get it done. You have to wait for that unless and until it is getting downloaded. So nowadays, using a mobile, you can, real time, you can see a lot of things. Uh, streaming of, video features are there, which you can see at the real time. Earlier, a lot of buffering was taking place. So these are the certain good points I can see. And again, we can see, I'm not able to recall exactly, but currently on OTT platform, there are a lot of movies available, entertainment point of view. We were not, that much acquainted to use mobiles to watch movies and all, but because of the technology, because of the clarity of pictures, videos, and all, nowadays on OTT platform as well, you can use smartphones for your, routine purposes, routine task, and all. Similarly, smartphones are equally important. I mean, how the smartphones are really playing a great role. We can see the e-commerce has developed a lot. There are a lot of websites are available. They are doing a real-time business because of the smartphone. I mean, there are, I just wanted to give you an example of Ola or Uber, where Ola or Uber, they do not have their own cars, but they are doing a lot of business through that technology only. So that's what I can explain right now. And, that's it. Thank you.
What are the disadvantages of using smartphones?
In nutshell, uh, at disadvantage of using a smartphone is that, if you not use a smartphone in a productive way, then definitely it will take you in other direction, like you might be wasting your time. It also helps, it also affects on your health in other ways, like it might be creating certain stress on your eyes. Sometimes you may feel headache because of continuous use of mobile. And other are that, as I explained, that children are now getting certain children are now getting too much acquainted of using mobile phones, smartphones, and they are losing their creativity because of that, because they are getting quite handy using of phones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
One more thing I would like to add, that using nowadays, because of the smartphone only, there are a lot of issues are also taking place in terms of fraud and all. Cyber crimes are also taking place. That's it.
okay. So if you are told to use a simple phone for a month,
Yeah.
how will
Hmm.
your life be affected without a smartphone? What all challenges will you face and how will you manage them?
Personally, I feel that nowadays it's very difficult for a person to manage a certain period of time without having a smartphone. The reason being that there are a lot of things are really associated with the smartphone, related to your routine. Like if I'm a working professional, I have to use my smartphone to real time check my emails, real time to reply to somebody on certain subject matter which are really uh, some sort of need. So they are comparatively falls into the category of urgency. So these are the things. Other than that, if I suppose in case I had to use a smartphone for a period of 1 month, let's say, then in case I really have to do a lot of things physically. I really had to do a lot of calls to the person to ask about the certain things which are straight away you can use, you can download through your smartphone, like reports and all. And but it's also gonna to reduce my productivity in totality. And I'm getting a lot of information through the smartphone. You can see that right now we are doing a session on English communication, English learning. That is because of smartphone, because you are just getting a Zoom link, and through that Zoom link you can have a better connectivity. And if we do not have that facility, then either it might be a cost affair, because one has to goes through the in class trainings and all. So there's are the certain disadvantage, and I'm going to hamper in absence of the
Please.
okay. So I would like to share a practical assignment which was given to me couple of months when I was not, I mean, couple of years back, when I was not part of my existing organization. So that particular assignment was basically related to the one warehousing project, where actually we snatched, I would say, we snatched one project from some other competitor at lower cost. And in that particular assignment, what happened? I would be going through certain, hypothetical figures to make you understand about that. So at the time, that competitor was doing that particular assignment per item cost at 100 rupees, and we took that same thing at 70 rupees per item. So ultimately, we have reduced the 30% of margin. Along that, since we have got that particular project at lower cost, so we also had to manage overall operation at the let's say at the cost of 50. Then only we can make certain profitability. But it was known to us that we took a very challenging assignment, because all of a sudden, if you are going to reduce 30% cost for your customer, it is not quite easy to manage the situation, and that was really happened with us. We have started working on that project, and at that time, earlier, that project was being managed by our competitor, and they have outsourced whole process. For example, since they have been managing that project at the cost of 100 rupees per item, and they have given same assignment further to their outsourced uh, contractor at the cost of 70. So ultimately, they straight away making the profit of 30. But what happened in our case, we have started doing at the base cost of 70 rupees. Now, if you offer 70 rupees to your contractor, they can do that work. But you cannot do that, because if you offer at 70 rupees, then what you will gain, what you will achieve that out of that. So we thought that we will make our contractors agree to work upon at the cost of 40 rupees, so that ultimately we can get. But contractors has had completely denied that no, they cannot work on that particular cost. So since they were working on contract, now we had a choice. Either can we start that doing the same project on wages. So we kept the same number of people, manpower, but we were giving them a cost on wages. So if you look at the cost of wages, then it was similar to the cost what they were paying, but we were completely out of the productivity, because there were no daily production targets you can assign to the contractor. Contractor has given you number of people what you have demanded, but now it's up to you that what productivity you can take out from them. So again, what happened, those wages people on wages were working at the initially when they were working on piece rate basis, because ultimately the more number of pieces they will make, the more they will earn. But now the situation was not like that. So earlier they were making 150 pieces per day, but now after coming on wages, the same people were making hardly 30-40 numbers of pieces. So ultimately there was a huge number of gap. So ultimately what happened, our supply chain got disrupted, and because of that, the uh, manufacturing was dumping huge number of products to us, but we were not able to supply into the market. So ultimately, after seeing that customer is losing huge amount of money in the market, and on other side, we were also getting pressurized that you have to meet the market demand, and we were not in a position to do so. So it was I have been assigned later. That means you just go there and try to understand what you can do for this. So when I reached over there, then I could see that the people who were working earlier with the contractor were highly skilled, but our people who whom we have onboarded on wages were not that much competitive, that much not competitive. So we have started working along with those people, and later on I realized that we cannot work with these people. We have to get those people with us on board only. But those people were not agree. So what I as a strategically what I did, I called subcontractor of those vendors. So subcontractor were, also looking for some sort of jobs. So I asked them, can you give me 20 people? Those who are very skilled in doing that nature of job. They denied. They said that no, we cannot work at the cost of 40 rupees. So I said, let us start, because earlier the problem was that they have a major chunk of people who are highly skilled, but since all were highly skilled, they were not getting enough number of products for their day's job. So now what we did, I have started working with 20 number of people at the cost of 40 rupees, but eventually what happened, they people got more number of products for their daily job. Earlier they were working for the 3 and 4 hours, and they were just living for their home. Now what I did, now what happened, they were working for 8 or 10 hours. They were making more number of products, but ultimately they were also earning high, because they were getting a more opportunity to earn. So even slowly what happened, other people have started joining us, because they got to know that no, there is a huge work to do, because we had 80% of people who are on wages and 20% people who have started working on the piece rate basis. So that's how the whole scenario take place, and slowly other people have started. So now, in conclusion, we have started working on 40-60 ratio, where 40% people were on wages, and we started also removing people who were really not that much qualified or not that much skilled. So we had to take those people out, and 60% people we got, that those were really very highly skilled. Along with that, we also did a lot of other improvements, and we were able to manage the situation in a right direction. We also had a lot of local threat, that you have to anyway you have to get those people on board who were working with the earlier contractor and all. But uh, we could manage the situation tactfully, strategically, and we could able to come out of that threat of losing the business. So that's how I could manage that particular challenge, and made that particular project very successfully. And tell you the name of the brand was uh, of mm, what was the name? Basically, the product was Harpic and Dettol. So we were doing assembly of Harpic and Dettol as a combo. So that was the particular product for us. So that's all about this challenge. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. So time to give you the feedback, Nitin. Lots of errors,
Sure.
and now you can make a note of it if you think that.
Okay.
Can you see? I have just forwarded it on WhatsApp.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all I will talk about your pronunciation errors, and then I will talk about the grammatical errors. So I will tell you the right pronunciation, okay? You can
Okay.
practice. So first one is should.
Should.
Right. Next is conventional.
Conventional.
Ha.
Conventional.
Conventional. Conventional.
Conventional.
Right. Professional.
Professional.
Application.
Application.
Next is city.
Okay. City.
Right. You
City.
said CT. So you
Yeah.
have
Correct.
unnecessarily stretched the
Hmm.
sound.
Hmm.
CITY. Here I is a short vowel sound, right? So we don't have to
Hmm.
stretch it,
Okay.
right?
City.
City,
Yeah.
city. Next is platform. You
Platform.
you said platform. It's not platform, it's
Yeah.
platform.
Platform. Correct.
Next is direction.
Yeah. Direction.
Next is stress.
Stress.
Right.
Stress.
Next is zoom.
Zoom.
Zoom. You said
Zoom.
zoom. You said
Okay,
Zoom.
okay.
Huh? Right pronunciation is Zoom. Z sound.
Zoom.
Right. Next is session. You said session. It's not session,
Mm-hmm.
it's session.
Session.
Hmm. Next is
Zoom
also,
session.
not also.
Also. Yeah, also.
Next is pressurized.
Pressurized.
Next is skilled. You said skilled. It's not skilled,
Mm.
it's skilled.
Skilled.
Right.
Skilled.
Next is was. You said was. Vaj.
Mm.
You said vaj. It's
Mm-hmm.
was.
Was. Was. Was.
Right. So what you have to do is make a note of, like, after every class, whatever feedback you get, make a note of all the mispronounced words in your
All
notebook
right. All right.
and
Okay.
practice it multiple times.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, now I'll take you through your grammatical errors before start talking about smartphones. So the right statement is before started talking about
Using.
smartphones. Huh.
Okay.
Before starting talking about
Before starting talking.
before I start, in fact, before I
Mm.
start talking about smartphones,
Before I start. Okay. Okay.
phones were came in the picture through Reliance. You can say
Mm-hmm.
initially phones were introduced by Reliance.
Okay. Introduced by. Right.
At that time, I can see that. At that time I saw, not I can see. I can see तो can तो present के लिए हो गया ना. But you were talking
Okay.
about the past.
Mm-hmm.
At
So
that
at
time,
that time,
I saw.
I saw. Okay.
Certain
All right.
childrens are getting acquainted. We never use childrens because children तो already plural है ना. We don't have to
Plural.
add s.
Okay. Okay. Certain children's. Sorry, certain children.
Right. It's also yeah. It's also gonna to reduce my productivity. Don't use gonna, wanna. These are slangs. We don't use
All
it
right.
in India.
Okay. Okay.
It will, you can say it will reduce my productivity.
All right. Will reduce my productivity.
I'm going to hamper in the absence of smartphones. I don't know what you meant.
Mm-hmm.
My productivity will get hampered. You can say
Okay.
that. Okay. Or my daily routine will get hampered. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
was really happened with us. Incorrect sentence. That really happened with us. Not was really happened with us.
Right. That really happened. Okay.
Okay.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So you can let me know the timing for the next class whenever you are available and we'll continue.
Okay. Okay. All right, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for the time. Thanks, ma'am.
Okay. Welcome. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.